right, let's warm up our brains today. You have a sheet of paper. You are showing me that you are trying on these warm-up problems. And make sure you're not using a calculator. We're doing these by hand, people. All right, so first set. Let's do, you're going to be tested today on circles. So let's do our first warm-up problem with circles. Let's go ahead and draw a circle. And let's label it with this information. Boom. And we'll say that is 16 inches. And I ask you for the circumference and the area. I want to know both. Okay, so the formulas, you will be given those on the test. Maybe you can write them before I write them out. Circumference equals pi times the diameter. And area equals pi r squared. All right, so circumference, where is it on the circle? You could go ahead and pause the video if you want to try this out yourself for a little bit of time. And then play the video to see what happened. Did you do it right? The only way to see if you are doing this right is to try something. So try something. Okay, here we go. Circumference of the circle is the outside of the circle. So to get that circumference, we need the diameter. And do we have it? Yes, we do. It is 16. So I'm going to have to do the calculation, pi times 16. Well, what is pi? I didn't tell you. It can either be 22 over 7 or it could be 3.14. So let's use 3.14. So if pi was 3.14, I'd take 3.14 times 16. And that's really 314 times 16. Multiply that out. I'm going to put a 0 placeholder. 4, 1, 3, boom, 4, 12, 10, 5. So I got 5,024, but then I have 2 places after the decimal. So my circumference is 50.24, and the units are super important, and it is inches. All right, then we need the area. Now the area of a circle is all this space on the inside. And we still have pi being multiplied, but it's not going to multiply by 16 this time. We need r squared. And this 16 is not the radius. The radius is only half that, so the radius would be 8. So I'm going to take not 16 times pi, but 8 times pi. So my area, 8 times 3.14. And again, hopefully you tried to multiply this out. Otherwise, you're doing it right now. And I'm at 2,522. Move the decimal 2 spots. And I'm at 25.22. And in this case, I'm working in inches, and they need to be square inches. Remember that, how we talked about that in class. The inches are squared, and that's how much space we have in that circle. All right, let's move on to the next thing being tested, which is writing equivalent. So second one, writing equivalent expressions. Let's try something here. Let's try something like 15m plus 3m parentheses 6. And I want to know, is that equivalent to the expression 15m parentheses 2. There we go. And I want you to prove it. So what I notice on both sides is that there's two terms, and things could be simplified. So I could simplify this thing. And if I look at over here, this algebraic expression, there's just one term, but it could still be simplified. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to simplify both sides and see if they're equivalent, see if they're the same thing, fully simplified. So let's go ahead and take a look at the one on the left. I have two terms. And this term over here, I could simplify a bit more. The coefficient in front of the m is not 3. It's being multiplied with 6. So there's really 18m sitting there, which is being added to the other 15m. So in total, I have 15 of these m's, 18 of these m's. So in total, I have 33 of those m's. Let's see if I get the same thing over here. The coefficient on my m here looks like 15, but it's being multiplied with 2. So I would say that is 30m. And is 33 equivalent to 30m? 33m equivalent to 30m. Well, they're like terms, but they aren't equivalent terms. No, 33, the coefficient is not the same as 30. Cha-ching! All right, last problemo. Actually, should we do, no, last thing. Okay, the last one that you're tested on is what we just started on at the end of class on Wednesday, Thursday, and you have the video on it for today. Expanding and factoring expressions. So let's look at an expanding one. Something like -8 times the quantity of -2 plus 9x. Which one do you think I'd ask you to do? Expand it or factor it? Well, it's already factored, people, because I have something times something. So we're going to expand that. Writing out all the steps. I'm going to have, again, pause video if you want to try this here on your own first. These terms cannot be added together because they're not like terms. So I go to the outside. The -8 is being multiplied with them. So I'm going to take -8 times the first term of -2. And bringing down the plus sign, I have that -8 being multiplied with the second term. So as you can see, that -8 is being multiplied twice because there were two terms inside the parenthesis. And now I can simplify that a bit more. So -8 times -2 here to get this term, this constant term. Negative times negative is a positive. And 8 times 2 is 16. Bring down the plus. Here we have a certain number of x's, and it's not 9 anymore because it got multiplied with -8. So that'll turn out to be a negative number, -72. So if you stop there, you'd be fine, but you could actually take it a step further because we could simplify this a bit more. If we are adding a negative, that's really the same thing as just saying 16 minus 72x. Cha-ching! Okay, final problem is not expanding, but factoring. So let's say we have something like, let's go 12x plus, what should we say, 3? Ooh! All right. Now we can't expand this because these aren't like terms. We can't keep going with that. We can't simplify it any further. So we're going to go backwards. We're going to factor it. We're going to think what times what gives us this algebraic expression. So in order to do that, we need to think of these terms 12 and 3. List out the factors. 12, 1 times 12. 2 times 6. 3 times 4. All right, there's no numbers left. Okay, 3. 1 times 3. 2 times, wait, 2's not gonna work. Oh, there's nothing left. Oh, that's nice. The greatest common factor, I am going to highlight, it is 3. All right, so now I'm going to go through and I'm going to rewrite this term using factors. So 12 is the same thing as 3 times 4. And don't forget about that x. It's being multiplied with x. Plus, and now I'm going to rewrite the 3 as its factors. What? I already have 3, so what do I multiply it by? What? 3 times, oh yeah, 1. Okay, so now as you notice, those 3's happen twice, multiplied twice. So I'm going to end up with 3 of 2 things. And what are those 2 things? 4x, because I found 3 of 4x, and the plus, and I found 3 of 1. So I can now say that 12x plus 3 is equivalent in its factored form to what? To 3 times the quantity of 4x plus 1. Those are equivalent. Whew. All right, good practice, people. Good luck on the test. You can do this. Stay positive. Try. Use some grit.